which is coming up now. Number 6 is Solace.
Right.
We saw this straight after Bill. We had an hour gap where we got a Nando's.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say that.
Before we start, hold on.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Got to say Ryan's first Nando's.
Ryan's first Nando's.
Yeah, that was my very first Nando's.
And he was gonna get hot.
Yeah, I was gonna get hot.
This is the review.
Yeah, I didn't. What?
I want you to review
Nando's review.
The review. And yeah, I mean, it was exactly what I'm a fan of grilled chicken, so I plumped for that. I got a grilled chicken burger and fries, and yeah, What?
This is top-notch radio.
It's top-notch radio, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm glad I got medium because I had a burning aftertaste all the way through, and I had to use those free will fills very nicely. It's a great cast. It showed great character throughout. Really tasty and really, it left you really full and fulfilling. Even though, obviously it's like 10 quid, wasn't it, or something like that? Yeah, you get your money's worth. You do. I'm glad I didn't go for hot.
11:45.
I like spicy food, but this was good enough for me. For
11:45.
Before you say,
I would recommend Nando's.
11:45.
But other restaurants are
available. Yeah, but it was the perfect setup. I'd find we've been teasing it for ages, so finally got to see Nando's. Go to Nando's and eat Nando's, and I felt very cheeky afterwards.
11:45.
Yeah, 11:45. It's not going any lower. But Solace, right? I will preface this by saying, obviously, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to put a mental block on myself. If you listen to us regularly, you will notice that I start a lot of reviews by things like obviously, or so, like stuff like that. And I hear that, so I'm going to start different. That I'm going to start this review by
he's right, isn't he?
By prefacing that I walked out of this movie in such blind fury that I was contemplating that. Obviously, the Trinity Square Cinema is on a. It's on a tilt, sort of. It's 2 stories up, and there is a window like directly next to the escalator. And I was thinking, you know what? If I ran at that window at enough speed, I could probably break the window quick enough to make sure I'd be dead on impact with the arrival of the glass.
Again, don't recommend
in
doing
my
that.
body. I don't recommend this.
So
but that is how much I despised this film, because it is just the most ridiculous, most horrendous, most patronising, most wannabe smart film I have seen in so long. Like, I mean, it's just terrible. And I've calmed down a lot since then. It's not the worst film of the year, but it's comfortably in the bottom 5. It is just an absolute abomination. It's this year's Lucy for me, and even then, Lucy was okay.
Lucy is great.
No, it's not. It's really not. But even Lucy was, it was fun enough.
Turn your brain off fun.
I hate that phrase so much.
But it's right though, isn't it? Even if you hate the phrase, it is accurate.
Solace is it's an American mystery thriller film. That's the official definition. Basically, we have a psychic doctor. I found out what that the sort of key thing as well was ESP.
ESP.
That's what I was thinking. ESP, extrasensory perception. John Clancy, played by Anthony Hopkins, who's looking older than ever now. He's working with the FBI agent, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who was in search of a serial killer, played by Colin Farrell, who has been sort of preempting lots of murders, and he can preempt the murders. Colin Farrell's character has basically been killing people that are already dying, so like mercy killings. So there's a lot of morals in that, but it's just so ham-fisted in everything it does, and so blatantly dull in most of the things. It's just so bland and boring at times.
And stupid.
You never get into it. It's the most ludicrous story ever. Like, there's so many revelations and plot twists and turns that are just completely pointless and terrible. And it really does this question, like, we're sat here and watching it. Joe had a full night's sleep, and he still fell asleep in Solace.
Yeah.
How long do you reckon you were out for?
He was up for like 10 minutes.
No, maybe
I think
be
it was
15.
a bit longer.
About 16 minutes, I'd say.
It was on and off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The most ridiculous thing is you've got...
And then what you woke up to as well.
Yeah, I was
not going to say what that was.
Yeah, he woke up to something a bit not safe for work.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing that woke him up. But it's just... It's so... I cannot visualize how bad it was, because I mean, when you've got OAP Anthony Hopkins, this is the image of the film. Yeah. OAP Anthony Hopkins running down a hallway in his vest, looking completely ludicrous, when you've got people like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who is just staying there, like, he's the main member of the cast alongside sort of him and Colin Farrell
and Abby Cornish
as well, who
is utterly lost.
Like, when you've got Abby Cornish, who has been portrayed as this sort of proper agent, like capable agent, when you've got OAP Anthony Hopkins running down a hall in his FBI vest saying stay behind me, when he's going at about 5 miles an hour, and they're trying to make that look intense, it doesn't work. Who cast Anthony Hopkins in this? This does not belong to him. He's not convincing in the slightest as an FBI agent. And they tried, like, it threatens to get interesting at a tiny point when Colin Farrell is introduced. It's like, okay, this is a guy who also has high ESP powers. He can also predict murders and predict what's going to happen in the future. You know, it could go on an interesting tangent there, but then it comes in with this whole Jesus shtick and sort of heavy-handed religious undertones that are just so ham-fisted and beating you over the head in every single shot. They literally do a pose of Colin Farrell in the Jesus of Nazareth sort of Rio de Janeiro pose. Yeah. You know, that famous pose. It's literally Christ the Redeemer, that's what it's called. But literally they have him in that famous position, and it's so blunt in what it tries to do. It's completely terrible and awful. I'm running out of buzzwords here.
I think we've got enough buzzwords.
Right. Someone take over for a minute. We've got 6 minutes left, so someone take over for like a minute.
We haven't got 6 minutes. Joe.
Literally, remember when we came out, I just said, what was that about? What was all that about? Like...
It feels like a TV episode of CSI.
It felt like a student film.
Yeah, okay, so
the whole montage
serial killer thing happening, Anthony Hopkins, I'm not coming back, I can't do that. You know what, I'm coming back, I can do this. If that happens like that. There were moments where, like when Anthony Hopkins put the badge on and it started doing the crash zooms, which don't ever end, by the way. That happens so...
I have to say, like...
What was the crap with the zooms?
The most hateably made film of the year by far. Like, it was actually gave me, like, throbbing headaches, the way it was filmed. Like, even the camera's stable on two people, it's still juddering about, like, going up and down and left and right, trying to look actiony.
That happened, and I thought, okay, right, it's going to be a thriller.
Exactly.
It's going to be a thriller. No, it wasn't thrilling at all. I fell asleep. Yep. And then stuff happened... serial killer things, then Colin Farrell gets introduced like nearly an hour and a bit in, and then there's this weird, like you say, this morality kind of thing, which I thought was actually really interesting, but then that doesn't go anywhere and it just ends, and it's just, I didn't enjoy it.
That's the worst part. It threatens to be interesting at certain points, but it needs a complete... I mean, you don't care at all about Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, you don't care about anybody. I mean, Abby Cornish, bless her, is trying, you know... What?
I don't think she.
No, I mean, like she's the probably.
It looks a bit desperate if she was trying.
She's probably the standout, but you know, like I mean, Anthony Hopkins is decent, I guess, and Colin Farrell's he's there, but the whole story is so ludicrously plotted and
like,
so.
It's one of those endings as well. It's just like, why is this important?
So many twists and turns that you don't care.
There's nothing really that big of a deal about the end, kind of thing, you know.
I mean, this is easily one of the worst films of the year, and I was just awfully directed, horribly plotted, pretty terribly acted, and you just don't care about anything that's happening. You could have a nap, and you'd probably feel like you've seen a better film than you have in your dreams.
We did. Me and
You'll have seen a better film in your dreams.
See, the thing is, I do dream about like sort of ideas and
You'll
stuff.
have seen a better film in your dreams than
I could have constructed it in that time.
Just awful. Just absolutely terrible.
Awful. So that's not a recommend.
Unredeemably awful.
Wow, there's the poster quote right there.